Students, today we will study about animal tissues. This is a topic that comes under the chapter structural organization in animals. So let us start. We have four type of animal tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. The epithelial tissue is present on our skin. It is very protective tissue, and the other functions are it helps in secretion, absorption. The second one is connective tissue. Connective tissue is of various types: areolar, adipose tissue, bone and ligament, that helps in binding, support and transport. Then we have the muscular tissue. There are three type of muscular tissue: striated, unstriated and cardiac. Nervous tissue controls, helps in control and coordination. Now we have the functions, the origin and the functions of these tissue. So let us discuss. The epithelial tissue is ectoderm, endoderm and mesodermal origin. There are three germ layers that are involved in this origin, in the origin of this epithelial tissue. This tissue is helpful in protection, in secretion and absorption. Then we have the connective tissue. Connective tissue is mesodermal in origin, and the function of this connective tissue, as the name suggests, that it is involved in connecting the two different tissues together. So it acts as a support, and the function is storage and is involved in attachment. The muscular tissue is mesodermal in origin. It is helpful in movement of body. Nervous tissue is ectoderm in origin, and it helps in control and coordination. Right? Next we have animal tissue and their types. The various type of animal tissues are epithelial, muscular, connective and nervous. The epithelial tissue is further of different types. There are five type of epithelial tissue. One is squamous. Squamous is flattened and square shaped. The cuboidal is cube-like. Columnar is column-like or pillar-like. Ciliated are the cells which are column-like but they bear cilia over their surface. The glandular is secretory by function. Then we have the muscular tissue. The muscular tissue is divided into three types, that is striated, unstriated and cardiac. The connective tissue has a wide diversity, widely divided. It is areolar. It is of areolar type. Then we have the dense connective tissue. The dense connective tissue consists of tendons and ligaments which join muscle to bone and bone to bone. Then we have adipose tissue that stores the fat. Then we have skeletal tissue. Skeletal tissue are, it includes bone and cartilage. At last we have the this vascular tissue. Fluid connective tissue is also named as vascular tissue. It includes blood and lymph. Then we have the four diagrams of these connective tissues: epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous tissues. The epithelial tissue, they are square like or column like, and the connective tissue, they may be spindle shape. The muscle tissue is cylindrical in shape, and the nervous tissue is star shape. Then we have epithelial tissues. So let us study about epithelial tissue. An epithelium is a sheet of cells that cover the body surface. It is a sheet of cells that covers the body surface, and the body surface include skin, mouth, nasal cavity, that is ectodermal, and the lining of the internal body organs, that is gastrointestinal tract, the lungs, the urinary bladder and the vagina. It is mesodermal. It may be mesodermal in origin. The functions performed by this epithelial tissue is it is a protective tissue. It helps in absorption, it helps in secretion and excretion and filtration and various sensory reception. Okay, now what are the various characteristics of this tissue? That it has a polarity. The epithelial is arranged so there is one surface apical and another one is basal surface. It has a cellular nature. The cells in the epithelial fit together like the tiles in a floor in case of squamous tissue. It is supported by connective tissue. It is avascular. It lacks blood supply and regenerative it can be. And there is absence of nerves in this epithelial tissue. Here we have the types of this epithelium. Epithelium is of three types: simple, compound, and glandular. The simple epithelium is of 5 types. One is squamous, then cuboidal, columnar, ciliated, and pseudostriated. Another one we have the compound. Compound is striated and transitional compound. And one is glandular epithelium. The epithelium on the basis of the arrangement of cells is of 4 types. The simple epithelium, in which we have the single layer of cells on the basement membrane. When we have 2 or more layers of cells on the basement membrane, that is compound. Pseudostriated, when we have more than one cell thick, since the nuclei lie at the different heights, then that is said to be pseudostriated. Transitional, in which the cells are rounded and they can slide, they can move their position, they can change their position, move from one place to another place, that is required for stretching. On the basis of shape, epithelial tissue is of 3 types: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. When the cells are square-like in shape, flat and thin, they are said to be squamous. When the cells have a basic cube shape, they are said to be cuboidal. When the cells are tall, rectangular, and column shaped, they are said to be columnar. Now here we have the location and the functions of this epithelial tissue. The simple squamous tissue is located in the lung, alveoli, and the blood vessels. The striated squamous is present in the lining of mouth and esophagus. Simple cuboidal is found in kidney tubules, and striated cuboidal is found in salivary glands. Simple columnar is found in intestine and the respiratory tract, and the striated columnar is found in male urethra. Transitional epithelium is found in the lining of the urinary bladder. Pseudostriated is found in the respiratory tract. Here we have the function of these tissues. For example, if it is present in lungs, then it allows the small things to pass. If it is present in mouth, then it helps in the wearing and tearing of the food. If it is present in kidney, it has a mechanical support. It plays a role in mechanical support. If it is present in intestine and respiratory tract, it is helpful in the absorption of and the secretion with the help of cilia. And in male urethra, it helps in protection. When transitional epithelium, which is present in lining of urinary bladder, it helps in expansion and contraction. Simple epithelium consists of a single layer of epithelial tissue resting on a basement membrane. It is present in those areas where absorption is needed more and wear and tear is less. So here we have the various type of simple epithelium, that is simple squamous, simple cuboidal, columnar, and pseudostriated. Glandular epithelium. The cells which are generally columnar and cuboidal, they are said to be glandular. They are present in various glands according to the presence or the absence of the glands. Exocrine glands bear salivary glands and liver. Endocrine, like thyroid gland and pituitary, and mixed glands are pancreas. So glandular epithelium tissue is present in these glands. In the exocrine glands, we have the secretion is released via ducts. Then the secretion is discharged into the ducts, and ducts carries the secretion to the various organs, to the target organs. But in case of endocrine glands, the secretion is not discharged into the blood vessels. It is discharged directly into the bloodstream, and the secretion of these glands is said to be hormones. Next we have compound epithelium. When we have many layer of epithelial cells, and these represent newly formed or mature cells, they are residing on a membrane, basement membrane. They are residing on a membrane that is not said to be basement here, but they are present over another. So the main function of this tissue, that as it is underlining tissue, so it helps in protection from any wear and tear. Types of endocrine glands. There are 2 types of endocrine glands according to their structure. One is tubular, another one is alveolar. And on the basis of their function, we have merocrine, apocrine, and holocrine. That's all for today. Here we have the types of exocrine glands, tubular structure and the alveolar structure. These are on the basis of the structure according to their structure. When the structure, when the shape is tube like, then we have the tubular. Exocrine glands, when the shape is, when they are in the shape of alveoli, then it is alveoli structure. According to their function, we have the merocrine secretion, apocrine secretion, and the holocrine secretion. Next, we have the connective tissue. The second one is our connective tissue that ranges from avascular to the highly vascular part. And the composition of this is, it is extracellular matrix that separates the cells from the tissues. Now, where it is located? It is located in between the different tissues and organs, and it can be found in and around the body organs. For example, skeletal tissue, which is present in the form of bone and cartilage. The skeletal tissue is present in the form of bone and cartilage. Now, what are the functions of this connective tissue? It helps in establishing the structural framework, helps in transporting the substances like fluid and dissolved substances, glucose, which are transported with the help of blood. Protective, it helps in protection and support, and it helps in storing energy and in defending the body from various microorganisms. Let me take an example here. We have macrophages, the neutrophils, eosinophils. These all are the type of cells which are helpful in protecting our body. Okay, collagen fibers, then elastin fibers, they provide shape and support, and they act as a building blocks of, they helps in binding the two tissues together. Here we have the types of connective tissue. The connective tissue is of three types basically. Connective tissue proper, then supportive tissue that includes bone and cartilage. Then we have fluid or the vascular tissue that includes blood and lymph. Here we have the diagram to show that where adipose tissue is present, that means where fat is stored in our body, and this is a figure to show the cartilage. And here we have the loose connective tissue, and we have the fibrous tissue also. The blood is a vascular tissue that transports the various substances. Now, the connective tissue proper is further of two types: loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. The loose connective tissue is of areolar type, adipose type, and reticular type. The dense connective tissue is dense regular and dense irregular type. Now, further it is of white fibrous and yellow fibrous tissue. The loose connective tissue are widely distributed, and fibers are loosely woven, and it is generally connects and supports the various tissues and organs. Dense connective tissue dominate over the cells and matrix in the quantity, and this fibrous tissue can be regularly and irregularly arranged. Now we have the areolar tissue. These are the simplest and most widely distributed tissues which contain matrix. In the matrix, they contain the fibroblast cells, the macrophages. These are the cells which helps to fight against the pathogens which enters into our body. Then we have the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes produce antibodies. There are two type of lymphocytes, B and T lymphocytes. The lymphocytes are two types, B and T lymphocytes. We have plasma cells and two type of collagen fibers, white and yellow elastin. Fibers are loosely arranged, and there are spaces in between this tissue. So due to the presence of these spaces, it is termed as areolar tissue, where it is located beneath skin and spaces between the organs. It helps to bind the tissues together, engulf bacteria, that means helps in defense, and it secretes a protein that is histamine and heparin. It produces antibodies. Next we have adipose tissue. The adipose tissue is a modified form of areolar tissue that stores fat. It is present again beneath the skin in the dermis layer, and it synthesizes and stores the fat and metabolizes it, and it considerably is a source of energy. In certain organisms like polar bear, it acts as a shock absorbent around the kidney, heart, and in us also. It prevents heat loss by forming insulating layer. It acts as an insulation material. Then we have white fibrous tissue and the yellow fibrous tissue. The white fibrous tissue contains fibroblast cells and collagen fibers. It is a dense network of collagen fibers. It contains tendon and sheath. And yellow fibrous tissue is made up of yellow elastin fibers. They are present in ligament tissue. Ligament is composed of yellow elastin fibers. Now, what are cartilage? Cartilage is a tough, hard, and flexible connective tissue that resists strain and absorb mechanical shock. Now, the structure, talking about the structure, that it is a sheath of white fibrous connective tissue present beneath our perichondrium, and it is made up of chondroblast cells. Chondrocytes are dispersed in the matrix and occur in the fluid that is called lacunae. They contain 2 to 4 chondrocytes, and each chondrocyte is a large angular cell with distinct nucleus. Then we have bone. Bone is a supportive and protective tissue. The matrix is solid and calcified. It is calcium rich and it is made up of a protein, osteoblast protein. From osteoblast, it is made up of. Each bone is enclosed in a layer of white fibrous connective tissue called peristem. Matrix is arranged in the form of concentric layers, that is called lamellae. Matrix is arranged in the form of concentric layers, that is called lamellae. Each lacunae has a fine cytoplasmic processes called caniculi which connect these lacunae. The types are compact bone and the spongy bone. Here we have the diagram to show the spongy bone and the compact bone. Now we have the fluid connective tissue, or it is also termed as vascular tissue. It is of two types, blood and lymph. The blood is the tissue that flows throughout the body and it is multidirectional, and the lymph, that is bidirectional and contained in cardiovascular system. It is the part of the lymphatic system, lymph. Blood is a fluid connective tissue that develops from the mesoderm of the embryo, and it is a connective tissue that connects all the organs. The composition of blood is, it contains 90% of the plasma, but here it is shown 55%, and 45% it contains the RBCs, platelets, and the WBCs. So what are the function of these components of the blood? The plasma helps in maintaining the blood pressure and regulates body temperature. RBCs transports oxygen and carbon dioxide, and the WBCs, they destroy the bacteria. And then we have the platelets. The platelets, they play very important role in blood clotting at the time of any injury. Or lymph. Lymph is a similar in composition to the blood plasma, except it lacks RBCs, but it contains platelets and the plasma proteins which are required for the clotting, that is present in the blood that it lacks. Lymph contain the plasma. The lymphatic tissue include the lymph nodes and spleen. It is present in the lymph nodes, spleen, tonsils, thymus. These are the organs where it is present. It acts as a middleman which transports oxygen, food, and materials to the body cells and brings carbon dioxide and metabolic waste from the blood, and then finally pours it into the venous system. Let me tell you that this lymph, it acts as a middleman, and it contains large number of lymphocytes, that are WBCs. So it plays very important role in defense in our body. That's all.